Hi, it's Sarah with House Copper, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to cook in copper cookware. I've had a lot of people ask me, I've shown how to destroy and talked about what's important, but I've not done a lot of videos on how to properly cook in the copper cookware. So we're going to do that right now. This is just a vintage copper piece that I have refurbished. It is tin lined. It's relatively new tin. And I'm just going to do a really simple recipe. The recipe is going to be available online as well in the link, but that's neither here nor there. First, I'm going to just kind of show you the best way to do this. So the most important thing, no matter the size of your copper pot, it's more important actually in skillets than a pot like this, but it still applies because the heat transfer spreads. It doesn't just start on the bottom and work its way up. It actually heats the entire pot at the exact same rate and time, which is what makes copper so interesting. You're not waiting for the heat to come up the sides. You don't get hot spots. The only place you're going to have any type of cooling would be right here at the handle until the handle gets hot. So when the handle gets hot, then you got to watch it. But if you don't even have this on for very long, you will be able to utilize the handle without a hot pad. But that's your level of heat. So I'm going to, first and foremost, we're going to make a mushroom ragout. So I'm going to put in some oil. I don't measure when I cook. Especially when I'm cooking instead of baking, I very rarely use any recipes. We just have mushrooms here. And what I'm doing, and William is my 8-year-old, is my cameraman again. The most important thing, if you can see in the pot, Wills, can you show? If you see in the pot how the entire bottom is covered in food. So you're always going to have your entire base covered in oil, food, liquid, or a combination of the two. What that does is all of this food here is going to pull the heat. The heat's going to transfer to it, and you're not going to see melting of the tin along the bottom and up your sides, which is what can happen if you get it too hot. But we never really need to cook anything over 400 degrees on the stove top. So if you're revving it up that hot, you should be using cast iron. You should not be using copper. Nothing should be getting that hot. So I'm gonna put this actually, if you wanna see down here, you wanna show them this, Wills? This is actually going to be on this is extra low, so this is actually low. Very, very little medium low. I don't need it any hotter. So what we normally are used to cooking at like a medium to medium high, you only need to do on a medium to medium low in copper, and you're going to have just as quickly a response. In fact, I can hear it already. It's already cooking. I don't know if you can hear it on the video because the water's going.
For our fish.
Yes.
But that's nothing to do with this video.
No. All right. So there's already heat transferring and the mushrooms are already cooking. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to add a lot of wine. I don't have to worry about any acidity in tin lined copper because the tin does not react, and you don't have to worry about any leaching like you would have to worry about with cast iron and wine, and cast iron and tomato products sometimes get that iron taste. You don't have that problem with tin lined copper. Eventually what I'll do is I'm going to add some dried rosemary and some salt and pepper, but I'm going to show you in a little bit what this looks like when it's getting reduced. But you'll see that I never show the bottom of the pan, and that is your main kind of rule when it comes to even cooking in a copper pot. We've been cooking for a couple of minutes. As you can see, we have almost reduced the copper. It is actually boiling pretty much on medium, low. And we have just a little bit left of the oil and the wine mix. You can reduce this all the way until the mushrooms have completely absorbed the wine. You don't have to. You can drain it here. If you are watching this, you can let the wine be reduced, but you have to really watch it, and you might want to turn your heat all the way down to like low. Like this is XLO, so it's extra low. So you're gonna have to deal with the fact that you know, if you wanna boil this all the way down, you have to watch it. Now, if you don't want to watch it, you want to be done. This is where I would totally just stop and drain. I added rosemary, salt, and pepper, and then you are set to go. You can put this in the fridge and put it on top of steak or pork later. It'll be super yummy. Just another example, I'm cooking with copper, and I have to pause this because my son needs to be taken to music lessons, but watch this. I'm going to shut this off. Stops immediately. This stops cooking almost at once. Unlike cast iron, which will hold on to your heat, and that's your fundamental difference, this has stopped cooking. And in fact, probably within a handful of minutes, it'll be cool to the touch. Another thing to realize too is it's warm. It's quite warm. I couldn't hold on to it for a long period of time, but the very tip is manageable. Closer to, I won't be able to hold it. But that's how long it takes the heat to transfer up the iron, because iron is that much slower, and I have stainless rivets there as opposed to copper. So that also slows down the heat up your handle. But there you have it. That is kind of the rules. You won't have any tin issues. You didn't need to hardly rev this up, so it's already energy efficient. And I'm going to go take care of children fighting. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.